Abusiamo Koba Edoba Delapte. Reverend Intim Fojo recently already allegation be related to a cargo plane via a land war kutuka. Allege say a year cocaine in a manemo. Na or a year something I stand to be corrected. Joy News and Ejumedi in the news file on a year Samijan Fishery. Na no mudim komono. The president of the republic, I ordered the BNI or the national security to what? To pick up this man to assist information. And more to the point, the Afenyo has been what? Ordered say, you should make sure say it brings the Reverend Intim to assist the BNI to what? To do investigation. Now, as it stands now, when he met with a year Samijan Feno, it all be like say the man was what? Peddle falsehood information. It's with this the national security has been ordered Afenyo to bring a year something a year Reverend Intim for further interrogation to make sure say or avail information to the national security to retrieve or to track this cargo a year plane or suspect said there is full of trucks, there is full of what a year cocaine and those any other stuff you zoom in straight.
You didn't do any checks, you didn't provide any information. And you are talking about suspicions that you require state security agencies to spend taxpayers' money in investigating suspicions? That speaks volumes of this whole matter. It speaks volumes about your own credibility. But in any case, Samson, I submit to you that his press conference did not allege suspicions and did not invite state security agencies to investigate suspicions. He is lying again because he has been caught pants down.
You have a copy of
I have
press conference.
We played the portion that you spoke about.
Are you a reverend minister?
Let me have it again. I want to read a specific portion again.
Good.
Yes, go on.
Look,
go on.
I am reading a quote from his press conference, and this quote was reported by My Joy Online. This is a direct quote, and I want to read that to you. There is no evidence, this is quote Intim Fojo speaking, there is no evidence of any medical referral or patient on board, speaking about that ambulance aircraft. Rather, our intelligence, not suspicion, our intelligence suggests that the aircraft was used to smuggle illicit cargo, unquote. Where is your suspicion? Why do you lie like that? Is this, did you allege suspicion here? You are talking about intelligence. What is intelligence? Intelligence means that you have been given, you have received credible information about the existence of some facts or a certain situation, and you are saying that because of that, you think that these aircrafts which arrived in Ghana were used to smuggle illicit substances. You made mention of cocaine. You made mention of cash relative to money laundering and so on. Categorical allegations. Now the president of the republic says, okay, I want to give you an opportunity to share this intelligence you have with the state security agency so that they can investigate it. I mean, if you don't share the intelligence with the state security agencies, where should they start their investigations from? So what any responsible lawmaker exercising oversight would have done would be to say, thank you, Mr. President. I will, voluntarily, or I will happily honor the invitation of any state security agency tasked to investigate this matter.
Samson, ask him.
Yet you,
Chief, 5 days now.
Chief, I think that you are being disruptive. I think you are being disruptive. I think you are being disruptive. I think you are being disruptive. Allow me to make my point. I think you are being disruptive. So you should have been happy about the invitation extended to you to adduce the intelligence you have so that the state security agencies can do what you're calling on them to do.
It's been said,
yes,
that by Felix Kwachiofosu, that it was security called Afenyo markin to make Reverend available. He denies that. And Felix is saying that he had sought to, Avail marking replied back that because what he was doing was an oversight job, they may have to go through the speaker. So now national security is going to write to the speaker to invite him in the same way. In the same way that they have invited A plus and Mustafa.
But even though they are not accessing oversight, simply fundamentally, if you are inviting a member of parliament, even without oversight, that's a procedure. If you are inviting a member of parliament, even if he spoke from his garden egg farm on any matter that requires invitation, you don't call somebody, whether he's leader, you go by procedure. Had anybody used that procedure? It has even nothing to do about that.
Yes.
Listen. You have no invitation, yet you lie.
Are you listening? Are you listening to yourself?
No.
You, a law-abiding citizen, a member of parliament, who claims to be exercising oversight, you say you have intelligence that certain aircrafts came into Ghana smuggling illicit substances. You even need an invitation before you go and do that.
That's why I wrote.
Maza,
that
you
is
have
why
lied. You have proven to be totally reckless and irresponsible.
That's why on second of
and if you had a conscience,
why did you block that invitation?
If you had a conscience, you will be apologizing for that lie.
Why did you?
You'll be apologizing for that lie. You have just proven to be a liar
and reducing the presidency.
Thank you.
To a mere propaganda.
I'm not done.
Hold on.
No, something. No, I think
that. Hold on.
Allow the security to do their job.
Reverend Fojo, in your press statement in paragraph 1, you said that the Air Med flight and Havoc Air private jet transporting replied back that because what he was doing was an oversight job, they may have to go through the speaker. So now national security is going to write to the speaker to invite him in the same way. In the same way that they have invited A plus and Mustafa.
But even though they are not accessing oversight, simply fundamentally, if you are inviting a member of parliament, even without oversight, that's a procedure. If you are inviting a member of parliament, even if he spoke from his 2 months on, we have not had any prosecution of the perpetrators. No one has been arraigned before court. The drugs that were busted, nobody has been arraigned before court. And we are asking what is the status of these, including the Air Med suspicious flight, which also came in around the same time. Now, people are so interested in prosecution of individuals. And you're not interested in prosecution of the
That is the allegation you have raised.
Yes.
And that's what we are interrogating. That's a matter of controversy now.
So in the matters,
by the way you detailed what you understood to be the cargo that was brought in, a cargo of cash and cocaine, it meant that you had knowledge.
So I have a copy of the press conference here, and you even played a video. We said that our intel has intercepted a certain information, and that information has that 2 suspicious flights out of thousands of flights which fly in and depart month by month. Out of all that, only 2 were deemed to be suspicious because one came in around exactly 12th March, departed 25th March from Gran Canaria and returned to Gran Canaria. The second also came in 20th March and departed 25th March. The one that even came in on 20th March is an air ambulance. He stayed in, and our intel further indicates that there was no patient on board the ambulance, and there was no organ on board, there was no corpse on board, and there was no patient or organ that was taken out on their return. And all of them returned to Gran Canaria. And there are antecedents about Gran Canaria when it comes to transnational issues on money laundering and cocaine and all that, those concerns. There are those antecedents. So, given all those background, and the suspicion indicated that there were movements to and from the flight, suspected to be cocaine and cash. And therefore, we are asking the authorities, in the full principle of transparency, which they had demonstrated even in the raid they conducted at Sapiman with cameramen, just to show that we are doing these operations, those security operations, but transparently. They should give us information to verify what is the actual content. But this is a suspicion. Was it truly cocaine? And
they have given you information.
And if it is not,
they have given you information about one of the cargo, and they've shown you video footage. and you say that is even fake.
Yeah.
So what's the guarantee that if you got a video
them away? These are specific security matters. When the pirate incident came, Kwacho Fosu was not the one who spoke for the Ghana Armed Forces. So why is he trying to now arrogate to himself the spokesperson of security agencies?
Can we stay on the matters?
We
stay on the matters of facts?
We are stating.
Yeah, let's stay on the matters of facts.
Yes, so in respect of the related...
You have been giving, what you have requested, you have been giving a disclosure showing you the content of the cargo, and it is not cocaine, it is not cash.
And that content is not something that anyone can believe. And even the entire narrative is false, because the assertion that the flights that Kavok Air came from Rwanda and came to land here to obtain permit to enter EU is neither here nor there. And they claim that Angola doesn't even have the certification to give permits. It's false, because that same airport that he references in Angola obtained that certification to issue RA3 permits way back November 2024. So that assertion is false. So on that premise of his assertion, what else should we even take as
so? What is the alternative?
And we check, if you check the manifest,
you have been shown what is supposed to be the cargo,
and it is false.
What is supposed to be the content?
It is false.
You say that is fake. That is false. Now you say it is false. So what was in it? Cocaine and money?
No, I'm establishing a point. It cannot also be believed because the response Kwacho Fosu put out there, it's not credible. The routing of the itinerary of the flight is even inaccurate, because your own station, Joy News, when I put out the information, and NDC quickly came in and did politics and debunked it. For your Reverend Minister is lying, no such flight had come. Quickly Joy News took the pain, checked the itinerary, and confirmed that indeed these two flights entered. Then they sat up. Now check the same fact Joy News verified and put out, indicating the itinerary of Kavok Air. And they will tell you it's completely different from the itinerary that Kwacho Fosu put out.
Thank you for that. Let's stay here.
So he has put out inaccurate information.
Let's stay here. You said the plane came and offloaded cargo and then took cargo back. The cargo you say it's offloaded. At least one of the planes, you have been shown the cargo. So should we take it that you don't have suspicions anymore? Because you said it was suspicion. And you have been shown that it is not cocaine, it is not money.
Now, the credibility of that video and information is in doubt. And I say so because if NIB, if Narcotics Control Commission, if Ghana Airports Company, if Police CID, Ghana Armed Forces, these relevant agencies had put out information, the credibility is high, and there will be no inaccuracies, and there would have been no crimes. That's all we asked for. We simply asked for facts. And when the Armed Forces brought their facts...
Reverend, you are saying that if it was NACOB or the other institutions that told you, that told you or showed you this footage,
then you would want to believe.
The presidency has shown, you would have been okay with it.
You would have believed it, because
my question again to you is that
because you
have a suspicion. You have a suspicion. You have now been shown contrary evidence. You disbelieve that contrary evidence. So where is the alternative evidence?
Now, whenever this question is asked, the counter question I ask is that the moment you put out a credible information, the burden of proof shifts. When I put it out there and they doubted, but Joy News checked and indicated that indeed those flights had come.
So in fact, the burden has not gone anywhere yet, because a multitude of suspicions don't constitute proof. So you have not given any proof.
Very well.
Before the burden shifts.
Very well. Let me continue to respond.
He who that alleges must prove.
Very well.
Where is your proof? So, they have shown you the proof. So you disbelieve.
We have released our press conference, our press statement, and we have stated in there.
You are talking about suspicion.
Our intel. Yes, please. Our suspicion, is it not the people who gave them intel, upon which intel they went to raid Sapima, upon which intel they went to raid the containers containing cocaine? Samson, going by your logic, did they enter the container to take pictures of the cocaine, took samples of it, brought it as real, physical, tangible evidence, and brought it to national security. That this is our proof, this is our evidence that there's container in Takoradi, another one in Cape Coast, containing cocaine. Therefore, act on it. If we are in this country and suddenly want to say that before a ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee will ask a simple question of suspicion for relevant authorities to investigate and put out credible information, and that query is evaded by politicians who can't champion the PR of it and prevent the security agencies from undertaking their investigations and credible communication, and demand that the ranking member must bring pictures and samples of the cash and cocaine suspected to be in the flight, then what was the basis for we calling for inquiry and investigations into it? If I don't have a picture and a sample of the cocaine, then I have no gravitas to ask for investigation. Is that a kind of logic? Please. In this matter,
so you are saying,
if the government of Ghana is not serious about it,
anybody can get up any day in this country and raise an alarm, and the government should go investigating. And when it investigates and it brings you what it says, this is what the truth is supposed to be.
One investigation,
they should be entitled.
No, please, let me tell you.
Hold on.
No investigation has been done.
They should be entitled to say what the government is showing is false, is fake, and we shouldn't believe that.
Samson, what he put out there cannot be taken seriously, because yesterday I debated Kwachu Fosu.
The point is here.
Please.
Reverend,
and he said no investigation has been done.
You are not answering my question.
You said
you're not answering my question.
An investigation has been done, for which he has put this information. And I'm telling you, he himself said no investigation has been done yet.
You say that you have a suspicion.
Yeah.
Have you moved beyond the suspicion?
We have put out the suspicion we had.
So have you moved beyond suspicion?
To where?
Because you have been shown evidence of the content of the cargo.
And that is not credible. That content
so
is not
it
credible.
means you are not dealing with suspicion, right?
No, that content is not credible. And Samson,
it is not credible because you are not dealing with suspicion. Is that correct?
If you will indulge, the moment we put this information out there, the president responded and called for investigation into the matter, and even called for collaboration. I further wrote for that directive that the president had given to be undertaken. I wrote on 2nd April for it. NDC Parliamentary Caucus wrote a letter to gag that process. So it never came on. Subsequent to that,
you put out the information.
No, please.
Belatedly, you sought to use the Defense and Interior Committee to want to ask questions, correct?
Not ask questions. If you read my letter,
your press conference precedes the 2nd of April.
So my press conference was 1st April.
Correct.
President responded and called out my name, that he has constituted NACOC, Police CID, NIB, National Security, to conduct investigations into the matters, collaborating with me. Whilst waiting for the invitation which never came, I volunteered, and as a member of parliament and a ranking member, making such press release or statement in my capacity as such, used appropriate parliamentary procedure to have that collaboration established.
Belatedly.
No, not belatedly.
So from hindsight, do you feel that is what you should have done first before you went public with the suspicion? The suspicion you now elevate beyond suspicion, even in the face of contrary facts being put to you.
The assertion that you cannot engage the fourth estate in matters of security is a fallacy. That assertion,
that's not the assertion.
No, yes.
The assertion is that. The assertion is that.
The assertion is that you cannot engage. It is inappropriate to engage media in matters of security.
To spread false information.
Which has been spread.
To spread false information.
Asking, that's your conclusion.
I am not.
And that's the conclusion of Felix Kwachu Fosu.
Can you tell me? Can you tell me where your evidence?
No, that's your firm. What was the evidence of the cocaine intel? Did they bring pictures? I've asked you this question.
So if they have credible intel, they follow. Have you given them credible intel?
No, and I'm telling you is how faulty is the intel I gave them. Let me tell you, see, this whole political thing about the response is what gives the government away, that they are indeed shielding something. But the international community has taken interest. Yesterday, the government spokesperson said, Kwachu Fosu said that when he was quizzed about the directive given by President Mahama about investigations being conducted, he said, and now the video I'll send to your producer, they even have the station. They should play it. He said that they are not interested in any investigations. And said, but the president says, oh, I speak on the authority of the president. And the president says that he had to put that information out just so that he makes an example of Intim Fojo, not because they are interested in any investigations.
So,
and therefore,
I listened to that interaction.
Yes. And so
what I heard him say, and you engaged him, what I heard him say was that
the videos there, was
that you have put out false information and you are being asked to collaborate with the security to investigate so that an example will be made of you, people like you, who spread false information.
No. So if you ask questions that we have this suspicion, we are calling on security agencies to investigate and tell us if the suspicion is true or not. Is it not an inquiry? You're a lawyer. How is that false information?
You have been giving contrary information.
How is that? We asked three questions. This was one of the questions. How is that
with
false
what the government says is evidence? You said that is also fake. You don't believe it.
No investigation has been done. When he was asked, Kwachio Fosu said that directive given by the president itself has not been carried out. No investigation has been carried out. So on what basis have they brought videos?
Hold on for me. So
but let me just end here.
You are saying that
if they had conducted investigations,
help me understand this. You're saying that you are going to continue to defend and justify your suspicions, regardless of what information the government puts out.
My position is that the security agencies should be allowed. They are willing to investigate and inform the public. Let them, the politicians, allow the security agencies. When they are done with their investigations, they will communicate. And the credibility of what the security agencies will put out there, even if it has semblance with what Kwachio Fosu has put out there, people will believe because one, there was a process of investigation.
Thank you. You have said that already.
And two,
you have said that already. Hold on for me. Hold on.
No such investigation.
Rev. Hold on for me.
Politicians are jumping in that.
Ghana
Armed Forces issue their own investigations.
Thank you, Rev. What we are working with is see something, say something. He has seen something. He has seen a cargo with cocaine and he said cash in varied US dollar denominations.
Well, it is very clear that he saw nothing and yet chose to say that he had seen something. So this is not a matter of if you see something, say something. This is a clear case of a member of parliament who we are told is a reverend minister deciding to peddle falsehood, deciding to lie about a government, and having been exposed is now making a mockery of himself. I mean, you listen to him. You listen. Please, when you were talking, I was quiet.
I will not sit here for derogatory comments to come from my respected friend.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Nobody has made any derogatory comments.
You speak to the
I am saying that
and keep the sanctity of the state.
You have peddled falsehood against the government of Ghana.
I've not peddled any falsehood.
So let me demonstrate how you peddled falsehood. So keep quiet.
No flag came from Rwanda.
Maza, keep quiet.
So you have peddled falsehood.
Let's have a very decorous discussion. When you were speaking, I was here. And you've had ample time to make your case. Show viewers and listeners the same respect.
But keep that across.
I'm saying that you peddled falsehood. He's sitting here saying that they had suspicions, and they put out the suspicions, asking questions and soliciting explanations from the government. Number one, you don't hold press conferences based on suspicions. That is reckless, that is irresponsible. This country is a serious country. You cannot wake up in the morning because you are hungry or you overate and said, I have this suspicion. So I hold a press conference and require law enforcement agencies to investigate your suspicions. You think that is what our security agencies are there for?
He said he was engaged in oversight duties as a member of
oversight
Parliament.
duties is not about raising suspicions. That is irresponsibility. That is recklessness.
You can't ask questions.
When you are exercising oversight, you exercise oversight based on facts. Even if you have suspicions, the suspicions must have some basis. You've not done